I have to do, right? So it depends. It depends upon the organization. We may have to run with some of the transaction codes in the system to check the whether the system is stability or any issues or not. So we may check by performing the monitoring in the system. So why daily monitoring is required in our systems production, especially in the production systems, we will do the daily monitoring. Why? Because before business users run, so we may have to do the quick health checks. So means monitoring checks we have to perform it to check the how the system is behaving. So how the system is behaving, are there any dumps, runtime errors, anything in the issues in the system. So as a manual check, we need to log in. So definitely in each and every consultant person, they have to perform this monitoring activities and everything. So even I also performed the monitoring activities in my previous organization. So and also now also sometimes if there is a situation, definitely I have to perform the monitoring also. So every person should know about this monitoring activities and everything. So daily monitoring, weekly, monthly, so yearly checks. So there is a checks are there here. So there is a checklist. Every organization they will maintain the one checklist for the monitoring, for monitoring their SAP systems. All those things we have to do the some checklist here. So what are those monitoring here? So why we have to perform means we know, right? To check our system, how the system is behaving. So how the system is behaving, all those things. So we have to perform these activities, monitoring activities we have to perform in our systems, right? So someone, if you check it out as a business consultant, we have to perform all these activities and everything here. So what are those monitoring activities and what we will check for there? What are those monitoring activities and what we will perform in that monitoring, right? So let's start discussing those monitoring activities in our systems here. Okay. So it's very important whenever you join any organization. So definitely there is a monitoring checks, which you have to perform that monitoring checks, right? So that monitoring checks we will do. So first of all, log into your production systems, right? Log into your production system, then check the in SM51, check the are there any active application servers. The first transaction code is called the SM51 active application servers, app servers. So here we can check it out whether your application servers are all are active or not. Here you will find out in SM51. So in SM51, so you can find out the active application servers. So that we can manage it here, application servers, right? The next one, immediately you can go to the SM60 check. So if it is the suppose you have the 4 application servers in that, so only here it's showing only 3 means one is inactive means definitely you need to take the action. Why it is inactive? Why it is inactive? Like that you have to fix the issues. And maybe you need to start the systems. So this is the one of the activity which we have to do that one. The next one is for the SM66 here. It's kind of global work process overview. SM66, right? So global, so work process overview. It's a very important global. So over global work process overview. In the SM66, here we can check the are there any active work process or in the private mode or not. Any work process. So if you go to the active, are there any active work process in the private mode or not? So you can see here, this is the private mode or not. Here I don't see any private mode here, but some jobs are running here. You can see one job is running, one is the dialog work process which I logged in. One job, what it is doing, it is deleting something from the table in the TST01, the school tables it is deleting, right? One job is running. So that is fine. One job is running, that is fine here. That job also completed, right? Here we can check the work process status here. If any work process in the private mode, then as what we know, what will happen that we already know, right? Everybody know if the work process in the private mode, so what actions we have to take it out and everything we know, right? So why the work process will goes to the private mode? In the memory management side, we discussed it, right? So when the work process does not have sufficient memory, then so role area. Next, what is that? Extended, then heap. So then it will go to the private mode. That is what we discussed, right? I hope you guys have forgot that one, right? So if any work process in the private mode, then immediately go to the SM51. Is SM51 check in which application server? Try to check what it is running, and we need to log off that user, or we need to cancel that user. That related things we have to check it out. What is executing in the system, which application server, to cancel the process with anything code, so that we can cancel the work process here. Then SM50 also we can verify it. So SM50 also we can check it out. SM66 or SM50 also we can check the local work process overview. We can check it out, right? Then immediately we can go to the ST22 for the ABAP runtime errors. You can check in the ABAP runtime errors in the ST22. Go to the ST. So ST22 here, you can check the are there any runtime errors here yesterday or today. So as you can see, yesterday there is a one runtime error which is related to the uncaught exception. So why this is occurred? So why this is occurred? You can go to the check all this, review this note, what is happening here. So check that one. So there is a user Koteshwar. User is the Koteshwar. When Koteshwar is doing something, this is error is occurred here. So which version? All the information, which user and what he is doing, and which user is logged in, client 999 and SAP star SU01 transaction code is used. Then so there is a program got terminated because of the some internal error, some program internal error. If you search in Google, or if you search it, so if you check with the user what is happening and everything, there is some issues with the user identity, the user address field. So that is the reason this program got terminated, right? This program got terminated in the systems. Okay, so this is the one. So this is the one here, like that we need to investigate it here. So if any dumps which are more than related, some dumps like, so runtime errors like here, some DB SQL error, right? So runtime errors means DB SQL error. So space and space and the some memory related errors. So that if you see here the space or memory, the space related errors here, then there could be a problem here. In this case, what we have to do? We need to create a ticket and we have to fix that issues separately, right? Then go to the SM21 is the transaction code. Here system logs, you can check it out above. System logs SM21. In the SM21 here you can see, so what are the errors we have? So why the errors are facing? Why we are facing these errors? You can see there is a jobs are getting cancelled every day. The jobs are getting cancelled. The jobs are getting cancelled here. So we need to check why these jobs are getting cancelled here. You can see all jobs are as WW related jobs are getting cancelled. So we need to check why the jobs are getting cancelled and we need to fix it out. Suppose you can see here the job SWW, then go to the SM37. You see why this SWWW jobs are getting failed here. Why these jobs are getting failed in the system. See, so the jobs are getting failed in the systems. So why? So just to select and check the logs here. So there is a 100 client, the develop batch user is getting failed. So which means the user is locked or what? We need to check it out that one, right? Immediately we can go to the SM37, then check if any so cancelled or cancelled and so active jobs, long running active jobs. We can check it out from here. Go to the SM37, check. So okay, some jobs are getting cancelled. So why? So there is a job step user is mentioned, the WF-badge. Now check, now take the new session. So in the 100 client, go to the SE01. So then WF- the batch user. You can check it out here. Why this is? So is there any user? So nothing is there. The user is not there here. Develop batch user is not there here. Okay. Develop batch user. So is not there here. Develop batch user is not there here. So which means there is some issues with some issues with this. So user account. Then we need to create that user. We have to create it. Go to the SE01. So this is the user creation, right? So double F hyphen batch to create the one user here. One user, you can create it here. I'm going and creating the one user here, one service user I'm creating here. Why? Because it's a background job. So either system user or batch user, we can create it here. The user management topic will come. That time we will come to know all these things. Now you can see develop batch user is created. So I think now the next run, all these jobs will be successful. All these jobs will be successful in the next run here. So let's see how it will go here, right? The next run. So when was the last run? 6:39, is right? So no. So is it like today only? So 5, okay, it's like here. So then here you can see, so the next run, when the job runs here, this is released here. So which is means the next run in the next 30 minutes. So which means 18:39. 18:39 means, so 18:39 means 6:39. So which means in the next 45 minutes, the job will run here. What is the job? It's every 30 minutes. So which means the next 30 minutes, the job will complete it. So if you want to check it out, just select the one job. So go to the here, maybe repeat the scheduling here. You can repeat the scheduling here. You can repeat the select only one entry. You have two options. Go to the here, then repeat the scheduling here. Try to run it one time. Try to run it one time and see whether the job is running or not. See here, the job is scheduled here. The job is scheduled. Then if you select it, the job should be active status. The job should be in the active status. So let's see the job. So the job should be in the active status here. Okay. So the job should be, it is released only. So when it is going to happen, 17:45, 5:45. So it should run now. I think it's finished. You can see the job is finished now. Yes, you can see the job is finished now. So which means now that issue, we fixed it out now, the job issue. So like that, you need to fix the issues, right? So and also in SM37, check are there any long running jobs in the system. So if any job is running from long running means it's running more than 2 hours, 3 hours, not the 3 hours. So more than a day, 3 days, 4 days, then there could be a problem with the system. Why? Because each job will occupy the several hours. So there are no jobs here, no active jobs. So nothing. So if any jobs is active, then we can find out. Any jobs are getting cancelled, then we have to take the action here. We have to take the action in the systems here, right? So this is the way we have to check it out in the systems, right? This is the SM37 and SM21, right? So, and immediately once you check this one, you can go to the SM58. What is that? So transactional RFCs. You can check the transactional RFCs. Any transactional RFCs are failed or not. We discussed yesterday the types of RFCs here. We go to the SM58, check, remove the dates and check, remove the user also. So check are there any RFCs are stuck or not. Here nothing is there. Then no issues here. Nothing is there here. Then here you can check the SMQ1 and SMQ2. Are there any queues got stuck in the system or not? SMQ1. So right. So it's like SMQ1 outbound queues. Anything got stuck here? Not. Nothing is stuck here. Right. So then SMQ2. So anything stuck here or not? You can check. So nothing is there. Right. Inbound queues and outbound queues. We have to check it out here. SMQ1, SMQ2. Right. Then go to the SMICM. SMICM. So SMICM, I think I have not discussed with you. So SMICM is the one of the transaction code here to check the services here. HTTP, HTTPS services here. The ICM is running or not. Why? Because few users, they will log in with few users, they will log in with some users, they will log in with their browsers, right? Not the SAP login pad. Some users, they will log in with the SAP browser. So in this case here, we should check the ICM status and HTTP and HTTPS service status should be active, and there is a port number is configured. If you go to the here, so go to and services, here you can see that the ports are active here, which means so the HTTP and HTTPS ports are active. 8000 and 44300, the ports are active in the systems, which means it should work. It will work it out. It will work, right? So like that, we need to check the service status and everything we need to check in the systems. Service status and everything we have to check this one, right? So this is the SMICM. You can check the ICM and also the service status and also the trace file. You can see ICM trace file here. ICM trace file, which means what are the communications which are coming inside of the system, how the ICM is behaving, whether the ICM is accepting the request or not. Here you can check it out in the systems here. You can check it out the ICM logs, how we check the work directory logs, right? These all also available ICM logs, SM ICM communication manager. So right. So then next one, go to the SOST. SOST is the one of the transaction code to monitor the SOST is the one of the monitoring to check the are there any emails stuck in the system or not. See, one email sent yesterday. I think after that you guys are not configured anything, right? You are not practiced, I think. So one email stuck, then we need to inform to the respective owner. So sender, this emails are got stuck in the system or not, we have to inform them. So this kind of monitoring, not only here, so these systems and everything, and also we need to check the SP01, the spool count, we need to check it out, the spool work process count and everything, we have to check it out here. How many spools are generated in the system or not. So these spool things we have to check it out. Why? Because sometimes if the spool table also full, then then definitely there is a issue, right? So we need to check the spool issue also. We need to take care of the spool issue also. We need to check in the systems, right? That is the main thing here. And also the gateway SMGW, the gateway monitoring here. So here we can check the how many connections are free, how many are there. That gateway related things we can monitor it from here, right? The gateway related monitorings and everything we can perform in the systems. We discussed all these things, right? We have to check it out. Whatever we discussed, all are the daily monitoring transaction codes only. All are daily monitoring related transaction codes. All these are, right? So SMGW, gateway related monitoring transaction codes here. Then, so what next? Then SM12, the next one which we have to discuss as a day-to-day activity. SM12 is the locking mechanism, locking monitor here. So if you go to the SAP here, just select the SM12 here. Then here you can monitor the lock entries here. Maybe you can remove the user, means it is the star. Here you can see are there any lock entry which are older than days, older than 8 days. Then you can see lock entry here, older than 8 days here, right? You can see any lock entry which when it was created. I think today only thing is created. No, yesterday is created, right? Some of the lock argument in the T000 table. So one of the username is called the CSR. So what is doing here in the system, right? If you go to AL08, see what is doing here. In SM30 transaction code, he holded the yesterday when it was created. Yesterday night 9:30. So 8:30 he created the one session. 8:30 created the session. So now if you go and do something in the same thing, it will not allow. It will not allow you to do that one. Why? Because there is a one lock is available in the systems. One lock is available in the system. You can see one lock entry is available, exclusive lock. This is the table. This is the lock argument, T000 table. So, right, he is doing something in the system. Maybe if I go to the SM30 transaction code, maybe T000, right? T000. Then, so it's I go it, so we can see. So it's locked. See here, the data is locked by the CSR, can be displayed only, which means he is locked. Then I cannot do any changes in the system now. I cannot go ahead and create anything in the system now. Why? Because he is locked. So like that, then is locked, right? Then we have to inform that user, boss, you have locked the transaction code. Please come out of the screen. then he will come out of the screen. Then we can do other activities. So there is a lock argument, which are so not more than 24 hours. So maybe we can check it out. Maybe it's more than 24 hours also sometimes. So I think right, more than almost 24 hours. 7:59 we created the session yesterday. So we have the next 2 hours. So when it comes to the 2 hours, there is called the 7:59, which means he locked the transaction, he went outside then. So he's opened the session still. So this is the person. Like that, we can detect the issues in our systems and we have to inform. Why? Because when the business logins and he detect it, he will raise a ticket. So then customer will come to us, then what you guys are doing, or you guys are not monitoring the system, something like that, right? So that is what we have to check it in the systems. Then the next one, once that is completed, then next one SM13 to for checking the updates, checking the failed update records, in the systems. If you go to the SM13, so here you can check the update records. Are there any failed update records in the system or not? So not only yesterday days, check the older dates, any update records. So I think you see here we have so many updates are failed in the systems from different clients and one user. The dates wise, you can see the update records in the systems. So these updates are failed. Why these updates got failed? Maybe take open any one of the update record, some interval write document, check that one, what is it? Update was cancelled. So maybe try to repeat the update here. Repeat the update, it will start it here, right? It will start it here, then again it failed, which means these are the duplicates. So which means it's not required. Why? Because it's already the same module name, same error got initialized, which means it's processed. I think it's the old one, it's processed. So we can delete it, cancel, and we can delete it. We can delete the records, we can delete it in the systems, right? That is what we have to perform on the day-to-day activities. But before deleting, you need to cross check with your management, right? You need to cross check with your management and everything, right? So these are the things we need to check it out. So not only this one, we have some transaction codes called the ST01. So to check the trace is active or not, and also ST02, the swaps, buffers, memory utilization, which we are discussing, right? ST02, 2 is for the, so ST01, 1 is for, ST01 is for the trace. Sometimes the people will switch on the trace, then they will go for the home. Then keep on filling the data, check the trace is off or not. Yes, off. Then fine. Then go to the ST02 transaction code here. ST02 transaction code, check after any swaps are occurring or not system. What is the memory utilization, CPU utilization, hit ratio, all these things we need to check. If the swaps are occurring, so we need to check why these swaps are occurring. So all these things per day, I think there is a limitation. Up to 10,000 swaps are allowed. So per day, if the more than 10,000, we need to take a action why these swaps are occurring or not, right? Is already we discussed. That is called the ST02 transaction code. And also in ST03 or ST03N transaction code, can take the dialogue response time workload. You can take the dialogue workload average response time, right? We go to the here ST03 and transaction code here. Here you can go to the total. So day wise. So suppose yesterday's one. You can take the yesterday's. What is the dialogue response time here? So here average response time, you can take it out the dialogue 210.8 milliseconds, which means very less system. There is no issues with the performance. In ST03, we already discussed, right? ST01, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all these things. ST03 is the one of the daily monitoring transaction code to check all these things and everything, right? To check all these things and everything here. ST03 transaction code here. So here ST03, so whenever the response time is very high, we need to check what has been executed yesterday, which users, all these things like transaction profile. If you go to the transaction profile and time profile, you will come to know what happened yesterday, why in each hour it is a long step. In each long step, in each hour, how many transactions are executed. So what is the user, what is the transaction code? So what are the users? All this information we will find out from here, ST03. This we already discussed it, right? We already discussed about all these things. I hope you guys are practicing all these transaction codes and everything, right? So regarding, please explain page memory. Page memory means I explained it right here, page memory. So in ST02 transaction code, here you can see the paging, heap, and extended, and so heap memory, right? So what are those things? Page memory. So what is mean by page memory? What is, first of all, what is that? In the last class we discussed about the memory allocation, right? Memory allocation in the memory allocation for work process. How the memory allocation of memory will be allocated for the work process here in the system, that we discussed. The first of all, it will go to the first of all it will go to the extended memory, role memory, role area. Then after that extended, then heap memory. The page area means it's like, so the paging, so memory no paging, some short dumps we will get it out. Memory, whenever you go to the ST02 transaction code, so sometimes the page area very less, the page area is very less, then we may get the, so memory no paging, like this dumps we may get it out, which means, so here the memory, the paging memory is very less here. The less means the role area, the work process requires the required role area is very less here. That's why we may say the paging here. So in order to resolve the issues, we may have to verify the, so in ST02 the paging we have to verify it, the paging. So suppose sometimes some users they may extract the some reports in the systems, some extract the some reports in the systems, so that it may take longer time. The time the work process will default memory will be allocated, low role area and everything here, right? So that may give trouble also. And also not only the here, sometimes sometimes the page area will use the file system level, some space file system level also, it will use the entire, everything will not depend on the memory, it will also, the page area will depend on the parameter. There is a hard disk flash pg max fs, there is a one parameter, so it will depend on the that page, that space also, it will depend on the space. If you increase that space, the max fs and also the PG SHM, then you will fix this type of issues here, right? These are the memory related. This is the role area, and also it's linked to the max FS. Suppose if you go to the one parameter here, so R disk slash the max underscore FS. This is the one of the parameter. So R disk slash, so max underscore, so sorry, PG and not max FS. It's a max FS only, but here the PG underscore. There is a one parameter here which will, this slash or this slash max FS. So maybe I will type it here, like what is this? Give the star, check it out here. What is this here? Yeah, PG max FS. You can see same thing we have written, right? What is that? R disk plus PG SHM and SHM. So this is the so normally it is the standard value. So maximum sizing of the SAP paging. So page file, OS level page file. So this is normally, so this is the maximum, this is the interval it is selected here, 256000. So we can increase it, but it's the standard one, standard limitation. If you increase this parameter, we may have fixed some memory paging related dumps, we can fix it in the systems, right? This is the, so parameter, this is the parameter, important parameter. So we can fix the some shared memory, the paging related errors we can fix it out. Yeah, this is the parameter. This is depends upon your physical memory, size of the paging buffer, the size of the paging buffer parameters. These are the So in ST03, we can see the pagings here, page memory. The page area means the paging related errors we can find out here, right? So this is the paging related things in the ST22, right? So any questions here?
So can we say page area is nothing but remaining portion of role memory?
Role memory, yes, right.
Okay.
So in case dynamically, why? Because if you want to change these parameters, you need to restart the system. Then in this case, go to the SA38, then RS memory. Dynamically, you can set the temporarily you can set the memory to. So yesterday we discussed, right? So above heap area, dia, heap area, non-dia, how much you are allocating and everything. Temporarily, you can limit, you can extend the, you can give the quotas to, you can give the quotas to the your memory, like 4 GB for this one, then 4 GB for this one, and like that you can allocate for these quotas for the dialog work process. Then the memory will be increased, the memory will be increased dynamically. Once your activity is completed, then go to the rollback the system. Yesterday I was pulling the Thana count for the archiving purpose. So I'm doing the one of the archiving for the one of the customer. So I have to pull the one of the report. I have to do the some analysis on that one of the table analysis, right? I went to the Thana transaction code for the table Thana. So here, when I'm trying to pull the data, I'm unable to pull the data from the system. I'm unable to pull the data. I'm unable to pull the data from the system because of, so when I'm trying to export it, I'm getting the error here. So it is asking when I'm trying to here, it's not downloading here. It is not getting downloaded here. So because of why? Because means system has some memory issues yesterday. So that is the reason. So we have these issues here. Then immediately what I did is I went to the RS memory parameter. So I know how to fix this type of issues. Then I went to the RS memory. Then I doubled it all the values here. Then I executed. It's successfully generated. It's successfully generated. So this is a way we can fix the some issues. Immediately I see, okay, system is throwing the role errors and everything. Then I can went to the here, then I can increase it. So this is the one of the shortcut. You can remember RS memory parameter. Dynamically we can change it here, RS memory, right? This is the RS memory related parameters. So then ST04R, you can use the DBA cockpit for the database related space, features, everything here, backups, all these things. We can check it out, all these things in the DBA cockpit, DB related. Then ST06 is the very important here. You can check the CPUs related information, CPUs related information, how the CPUs are behaving here. So what is the CPU utilization? All these things you can check it out in the, so in the ST06 here, ST06, right? And also we have the ST07. So ST07 is not daily monitoring transaction code, but just we discussed it, right? You can check the what is the idle percentage. Idle percentage is 3%. How many CPUs we have? Number of CPUs 8. So here 8 CPUs. Each CPU. So what is the free memory? What is the page in, page out? All the physical memory 20 GB. In that free memory 5 GB. So all these things we can see it here. And also, what are the top CPU snapshots here we can find out here. Previous hour CPU utilization we can see it here, right? So disk, LAN, all these. Okay. In the ST06 we can see the CPU utilizations and so all these things we can find each hour what is the utilization, all these things we can find out from here. I think yesterday and today, so there is no much utilization in the CPU side. Why? Because our conversion, we have paused it in the system. So why? Because in the conversion, so there is a some target cloud account should be prepared. I mean that one. That's the reason our conversion jobs are not running in the systems. So that's the reason this is on hold status. Okay, that's why we can see the so system is very free here. So this is the one. You can also connect to the CCP system. It's like same as like our production system only. You can also connect the systems. ECP. Okay. So ECP is our production system. So all ECC production systems, our ECP production system ECC. Here, many users are there logging and they are doing business. Same you can treat as your organizational systems. but less business. That's it. But the common monitoring, everything is in place here, right? So you can do that from here. That is the SD06, and 7 is for the just checking how many users linking and everything. Here we can check it out. Each component, how many users are logged in, all the information we can check it out from here. So total number of users are logged in, 7 users, active 2, how many work process sessions per user. This kind of some information we can see it here. The next one you can go to see here SM04 or AL08. SM04 or AL08, you can check it out. SM04 or so AL08, you can check it out here. So here in 04,
SM07 and SM07 and ST07 is same.
no, it's a different. You can see here SM04 is for the, so in
All
each,
active users.
yeah, all active users you can see here. So active users, what is the user ID and client host, dial response time when he logged into the systems, what is the current memory utilization he is using it here. I think in that among, I am the one person who is using the one of the most of the memory here, right? Most of the memory systems we are using here. Then so remaining systems here. So remaining different persons are different one. But you can see here what is the session, how many sessions you opened. You opened the 2 sessions. I opened the 2 sessions. That's why session number 2, high priority sessions. 2 sessions I opened in my screen. You can see 2 sessions, 2 or 3 sessions opened. In that one is just I have not logged into that sessions here. So that this is not counted here. 2 sessions I have opened here. So that's why it's showing the 2 sessions here in the systems. Right? If you want to force log off the user, let's select that user, then go to the session, then you can just select it, you can delete the session. You can delete the session or select the user, which user you want to log off, select it, go to the user, then log off the user or local or system wide. You can do that one. Right? This is we can forcefully, we can ask the user to log off. Like we are logging off the users here. Right? We are logging up the users here. AL08 is worldwide. But here ST07 is for the just checking the in each component how many users are logged. That's it. Only that information. But which user? Only give the rough estimation here. So in each component, basis components, HR components, all the components, but we all are the basis users, right? So that's why you can only basis users, how many users are logged in here. So what they are doing here, all the information. Suppose if I use some different transaction codes, some sales related transaction codes, then so some sales related VL02 transaction code, some sales related transaction codes. Then here the sales related component, how many users are using here, basis related transaction codes, the materials related transaction code, how many are using, sales, right? It may take longer time, sales related transaction codes here. Sales related transaction codes VL082, VL03 may take longer time. So it's like this is the transaction codes here. So like that we have, and also OS level we will check the all the information. So OS level we will check the information and DB level. So 3 layers we will do the monitoring, right? Everywhere. So we will do the 3 layers. We will do the monitoring, 3 layers. So like that SAP layer, SAP level, we will check this one. Maybe 1 or 2 I missed it, or 1 or 2 it's more. But normally if you check all these things, you will come to know what are the issues in your systems and everything. The next one we will see OS level checks. OS level checks means it's a free space, how much free space, then free memory. So all these things, free space, free memory, we will check it. The file system level, we will check it out. Then DB level checks also we will perform at database level. So DB level also, DB backups are happening or not, DB free space, and also, so yeah, DB level memory, database DB space, DB level memory issues, all these things we will check in the database level space, check backups, all these things as part of the daily monitoring we will check here. So every company we will do the 3 layers monitoring, SAP level, OS level, SAP level, DB level. These 3 layers we will do the monitoring in the systems. Right, 3 layers we will do the monitoring in the systems here. I opened the VL08 here to check the deliveries here, to check the deliveries count, sales, and everything here. Then, so we can monitor like that, we can monitor it here. So we can open it, n number of transactional codes, we can open it here. Maybe if we go to the here, we may get the one more count or not. Let's see here. Here nothing is there here. I think one session is logged out here. All are basis components only. In the basis components, so each user, if we go basis components, each user, what exactly using? Above runtime environment, one user, right? So user use sub components, one user, database related, one user, customizing related, one user, client server technology related, one user. Above workbench means is doing something here. So session manager you opened. So all the information we can see, all the user information we can find out from here, what exactly he is doing and all the information, right? So just all the information. Suppose above runtime errors means what he is doing. Syntax, compile, runtime errors he is checking. Menu low, he went to the menu. So all the information we can find out in the this systems here, right? So this is about the daily monitoring, which normally we will use it as a day-to-day activities regularly. Every day we have to perform these activities before you log up. I think some of the guys already knows about this daily monitoring, right? Same as like here also, not only here, maybe whenever you join any organization, definitely you have to perform this monitorings and everything. You have to perform it daily monitoring. You have to perform it, right? So this is the daily monitoring related transaction codes here. Okay. So any questions here from anyone?